The head, neck, and shoulders are intricately connected by several different muscles. The most superficial muscles being the upper trap, middle trap, and levator scapula. The brain communicates with these muscles through the 11th cranial nerve and the nerves at C3 and C4. These muscles contract the shoulder towards the neck, which causes pressure on the upper part of the vertebrae, creating tension and pain. The muscles that are much deeper are the transversospinalis and splenius capitis. The nerves that innervate these muscles are found from the C1 through the C6. These muscles connect the head and neck, which means looking down, like reading, computer work, or especially phone or tablet work, can cause problems. Start in a side-lying position with a foam roller between the neck and shoulder. Use your top leg to press into the floor, rolling your body up, which will create pressure downward through that shoulder. You're trying to create as much movement between the ear and shoulder as possible while relaxing the head toward the floor. You may increase the intensity of work by rolling the foam roller up and down using your hand. To work different points of the neck, simply roll backwards, keeping the chin and chest directly in line while opening the shoulders to the ceiling. An additional way to create greater intensity is by creating a saw-like motion, pulling the end of the foam roller toward your neck and then relaxing. You need to allow yourself to relax during the saw-like motion to break down the muscle tissue in the upper trap and neck. Continue to change the position, working the areas that are most tender. If you are tensing your body, it is not helping. My recommendation is to continue this work anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes on each side before moving on. A common headache that comes through my door is when someone comes in and paints across the forehead the pain that they feel. Commonly, it's also associated to have eye pain with this sort of headache. The muscles typically causing this headache are actually on the back side of the head, and they are called the occipital muscles. When the occipitals get extremely tight, they pull on the back of the head over the top of the head, creating the tension and pressure you feel in the forehead. So let's take a look at how to release these muscles to get rid of your headache. Using 2 lacrosse balls directly on the back of the head and lying on the ground, use a book to elevate the lacrosse balls. You're going to press down into the lacrosse balls and move them around the back of your head until you find the part that is most tender. At this point, you're going to begin pressing your head down into the lacrosse ball as hard as you can tolerate. This pressure should recreate the headache that you commonly feel across your forehead. Continue this pressure for 30 seconds. I will continue to talk you through the 30 seconds here. Do not let up on your pressure. Continue to push as hard as you possibly can in the occipital muscles in the back of your head. Try even increasing the tension and feel the headache. You know you're doing it correctly if you continue to feel the headache the whole time you're on these muscles. And we finish in 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. Now we're done with the occipital release. Next, we're going to be working on the atlantoaxial junction and the rest of the cervicals. The first muscles for us to focus on are at the atlantoaxial junction, and they are called the obliquus capitis major, obliquus capitis superior and inferior, and the rectus capitis posterior minor. Once we have worked through those, we will work on the rotatories and the semispinalis cervicis. Laying on your back with a book under your head and neck, place the lacrosse balls directly in line with the junction of the head and neck. Once you have the lacrosse balls in that position, tilt the head up and down like you're nodding your head yes. This should cause a contraction of the muscle tissue on top of the lacrosse ball and then a stretch as you look down. Once you've completed the work on that junction, move down 1/2 inch to the next cervical and continue this process until you have worked your way down the entire neck. Be sure to get a tight contraction tucking the chin, followed by a strong contraction tilting the head back in order for this technique to work. If you get to a point where it feels like one side is worse than the other, you may rotate your head to that side and continue to nod yes. For example, if I had some extra tension on the left side of my neck, I would rotate my head to the left and continue to contract up and down. Remember to do this continuously through the entire neck, rotating to the left or right as needed. Our final release is going to be on the upper and middle trap and levator scapula. These muscles contract the shoulder to the head. This release requires a massage stick and a clear wall. We want to start by locating the trap and levator, which holds the shoulder up to the ear. Once located, lean against the wall, allowing the stick to press down into the shoulder. Once you've created that pressure, you can start turning your head down and away from that trap. You'll notice I continue to hold the massage stick with my right hand and let the massage stick push my left shoulder down. Continue to create this pressure until your shoulder feels relaxed.
All right, so we are ready to go. Thank you so much for being here. Again, ask questions as we go through our day. So we always start with self-massage, then we get into our exercises of the day to try to help us move well, and then we'll finish again with that same self-massage. So if you don't happen to have some of the tools that you see in those self-massage areas, feel free to ask questions about that. I'll try to give you the information that I can. You can also connect with me via email, would be absolutely fantastic. So that's just betterbodymovementcl@gmail.com. And I'll be able to tell you kind of what we use, where you can find them, how you can get those tools to make sure that you can get the releases you need from that self-massage. Okay? If you haven't yet, please do subscribe. There's a little button right down below us. That if you click it and turn on notifications, you're going to be able to have those notifications come up, because every day, 9 o'clock, we're doing something different, also the same. So hopefully that makes sense. We're working through that whole body, just trying to help you figure out how to balance your system so that way movement and pain begin to correlate. The better movement we have, the less pain we have. Okay, so we'll continue in that process. Again, ask questions in the comments as we go if you have them. We always start our day with dedication. So you'll see up top here are individuals that we're going to dedicate as we go through our workout today. So we'll explain kind of what's going on in this list here. And this overhead bar will stay there for the whole time. So between rests or whatever, whether it's a prayer or simply an awareness, drawing that thought in, whatever you want to do during that time, that's up to you. Okay, I'm not going to say you have to do one thing or another. It's just simply the act of dedicating our time. So we're praying for Lori's mom, who's doing dialysis 3 times a week. Ethan, through his stage 4 liver and bile duct cancer, again, he has young children, so their family that's going to be a big transition for them. My friend's wife with breast cancer, and they're treating that naturally as much as possible. And Kira is doing better. She's back to a part-time job after her lymphatic surgery and radiation, so she's starting to get her strength back. So continue to pray that she returns to full strength. We're going to pray for her dad, Jim, and kind of the rest of that family there too, because he's in a steady decline from pancreatic cancer. Okay, so we're going to pray for him as well. And then Braylee seems to have pulled through her surgery very well, was back at school and going, so thank you for your prayers for her. And then my client, Diane, had suddenly lost her husband on Sunday, so that would just be very difficult to walk through. So we'll be thinking of her through this time as well. Now our verse of the day, one of my absolute favorites, go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And that's out of Matthew 28:19, one of the last commissions that Jesus gave before he left this earth, was go therefore. And it's interesting in that go therefore is that it's really a better translation of that word was as you go, right? Therefore, as you go, make disciples. So it's not necessarily this idea of the American idea of, oh, we're going to send out missionaries to go and they're the ones who do the work, but it's as we go, as we do. So to me, that's this time right now. As we spend time together in this moment, we continue to make disciples. We continue to spend time encouraging and helping one another through our walks and through our faith. So, all right, let's go ahead. What's that?
Preach the gospel always.
Preach the
You have to use words.
When necessary, use words. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Remember, these are the tools that you'll need. If you don't have some of these things, that's okay. You can kind of transition anywhere at any point. Washcloths come in handy. And so for anyone new, today is a compilation of all of the beginning of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we try to use all of those trainings and get our entire body moving. Okay, so here's the setup, just so you kind of have an idea of what's going on. You can just follow along with the warm-ups as we get started. It's about 4 minutes of a warm-up. Then we're going to have 4 rounds consisting of 6 exercises. Okay, each exercise is about 40 seconds long. You'll have a 15-second break in between each exercise. But then after each round, you'll get 1 minute of break. Okay, so as far as today goes, our biggest thing is to try to focus on how we're moving. Okay, so how do you create movement? Not necessarily just create movement and try to make the movement happen, but rather we're going to work through which areas of the body do we need to stabilize in order to make sure we can move or generate the most efficient production of force. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. If you have questions, again, ask as we go. It will feel quick today because they're compound movements. So we're working the legs and the upper body simultaneously trying to generate movements. So at any time, if you feel like, hey, I can only do the upper body movements right now, just do the upper body. That's okay, right? If you can do just the lower body, do just the lower body. You might do upper body for round 1, lower body for round 2, and then try to put them together for round 3 and 4. Up to you, okay? That's the way we work here, right? The biggest thing that I always say, your challenge will equal your change, okay? So if you put in just a small amount of effort and a small amount of challenge, you're gonna get a very small amount of change along with it. But if we increase the amount of challenge, you will increase the amount of change. So sometimes in a fitness routine too, we get this idea where challenge means I move faster, I move harder, I lift more weight. That's not necessarily true. If we don't have neurological function, if the brain doesn't control the muscle tissue, moving slowly can be a big enough challenge. Balance can be a challenge, right? So again, we try to make this tailored to you as much as possible, as we can do online, obviously, but just develop that awareness. Where are you right now, right? What can you do? What can't you do? Is there anything that you find extremely difficult that actually you're thinking, man, this should be so easy? Okay, that's your challenge point. Okay? All right, these leg swings, we're just loosening up that hip joint, back and forth. And then I would hope that I can get the names of those who join our class. So I do want to try to get this right if we can. Is it Tahir? I would think that's what if I'm saying that right, just to make sure, because I will try to engage you as we go through this, make sure that you feel like you're getting the help that you need, okay? All right, good hip flexor stretches. Again, we're tucking the hips underneath. Let me widen my screen a little bit. Forgot to put my lens on. There we go. Okay, so as we do the hip flexors, the whole point is that we keep that back knee straight and then tuck the butt underneath. That's going to open that hip flexor. Okay, 1, 2, and
3,
up,
2,
switch.
1. Get ready for row squats.
All right, here we go. Row squats is our first movement. I'm going to move myself over here now.
3,
a little better space.
2,
so the big thing
1.
that we're looking for
Row
here
squats.
as we get started, I always say there's 3 things that we have to squeeze to produce good movement: your butt, your belly, and the bra strap. okay? Or suspenders. I just try to say the 3 Bs. But we're squeezing our butt cheeks, right? Pushing down into the floor, okay? We're making sure that core is braced, our belly is compressed hard.
That's
so
halfway.
Like a belly whack is coming for you. You want to squeeze, make that tight. So if you're leaning against the wall, you'll simply drive that low back into the wall, okay? Then take the shoulders with it, okay? Shoulders down and back. We're always trying to get out of that rounded forward position.
3,
Shoulders rolled,
2,
right?
1.
Get tall.
Transition to
Okay.
chest press lunge.
All right, already transitioning to chest press lunge. So again, anytime we do a chest press or a squeeze of the chest, I want you to think elbows right to your
3,
middle.
2, 1. Chest press lunge.
Okay? Or we can think a beach ball, right? We're squeezing that beach ball with the elbow. So if there was a beach ball right in front of the chest, I'm gonna take and drive my elbows. Again, all the while keeping my shoulders out of my ears. I don't wanna create a push and drive upward. That's a really unstable environment
That's
for the
halfway.
shoulder to be in. It'll also create tension and grind on some of the joints, the tendons that pass through your joints, okay? So that's typically where our shoulders have problems. This actually is a lot for that neck. If we shrug and pushing constantly through here and holding our shoulders up, headaches, neck
3,
pain,
2,
restriction,
1. Transition to hammer curl good mornings.
it's all come from that. Okay, here we go. Hammer curl good mornings. That just simply means thumbs up, like you're driving your thumbs to your shoulder. If you
3,
don't have something to
2,
hold on to,
1.
one hand on top of the
Hammer
other.
curl good mornings.
Okay, so I can just take and push one hand down, pull the other hand up, and then you'll switch which hand is on top when we get halfway. Okay, your good mornings, we're thinking a position where we push your hips behind you to the wall, right? All the while trying to keep your body or your
That's
spine
halfway.
in a locked position. So I say like a statue. And then we're just gonna have one hinge right at the hips. Push that back. Squeeze up tall. Again, butt, belly, bra strap. If nothing else, that's what we squeeze. Okay? Pinch a penny between those butt cheeks.
3,
Hold those shoulders
2,
down and back.
1. Transition to step up overhead press.
Good, good, good. All right, step up overhead press. As you create your step, again, we're not hiking your hips
3,
while you try to lift
2,
your knee. We want to
1. Step up overhead press.
hold your position, okay? Core tight, firm position. Lift your knee, and then switch. Okay? Again, you might challenge your balance, try to hold that position, right? So I might hold and balance on one foot, try to distract myself a little bit by pushing up, and then switch. And you might hold for halfway, switch legs at the halfway
That's
point.
halfway.
Again, you can pick anything that you would want to choose as far as a challenge, and make it a challenge. Good.
3, 2, 1. Transition to tricep press down step back lunge.
All right, tricep press down simply means straighten your elbow hard. Okay. So you can do that
3,
just arms
2,
even back.
1. Tricep press down step back
Don't
lunge.
necessarily have to have weight, but I do want to really straighten my arms, squeeze that tricep tight. And with lunges, we want to stay tall. I say ride the elevator, right? Ride the elevator down, not the escalator, leaning forward. Okay? Straight down.
That's halfway.
Push up. Again, we return to, right? Butt, belly, bra strap. Squeeze each one. Tight, tight, tight. Reconnect the brain. Okay? It's like as soon as we create movement, it wants to shut off from those areas. Okay? Because we're
3,
more focused
2,
on that.
1. Transition to hamstring curl pull aparts.
Or at least we should be more focused on how we're squeezing versus how much movement we're making. Okay, especially in round 1.
3,
This is our
2,
last one.
1. Hamstring curl pull aparts.
It's our last one for round 1. Hamstring curls just simply mean you're pulling your heels into that foam roller, okay? You can use the legs of a chair, or if you're on the ground, you're just trying to bend your knees, okay? Bend your knees, pull your heels towards your butt. Sometimes this will give you cramps, it'll make the back of the leg hurt, but no matter what, you want to stay tall through the spine. Good job, ladies. Keep pulling those shoulder blades down and back. Oh, and if you guys didn't know online, we do this live. I do have a class here in the facility as well. So if you notice I'm watching others, that's what's going on, okay?
3,
Good,
2,
good.
1. Long rest.
Couples of class. All right, very, very good work. I hope that you were able to glean something from that first round. So for round 2, again, we want to start increasing our challenge. Okay, so again, challenge doesn't mean you have to move more or harder. It simply means it should be more difficult for you, right? Challenge yourself, whatever that means. Okay, there will be a 3, 2, 1. That means you have 15 seconds to get ready to start.
3, 2, 1. Get ready for row squats.
All right, let's go ahead and get set. Again, if you're leaning against the wall, right?
3,
core tight,
2,
shoulders down and back.
1. Row squats.
I try to say basically your entire backside should be glued against the wall here. Okay? Then as we're in that seated position doing the wall sit, I want you to actively push your feet down. Okay? Don't just passively be falling to the floor. Actively engage your hips. Drive into the wall. Push, push, push.
That's halfway.
Nice and hard through the movement, right? And we're gluing those shoulders, driving those elbows into the wall, right? Trying to squeeze the lat here. So we say an orange in the armpit, make orange juice, right? Squeeze those shoulders down. Really firm all the way
3,
through.
2, 1.
Awesome.
Transition to chest press lunge.
Good. Chest press lunge again. We're thinking the center of the chest, so to engage that, we think elbows
3,
driving.
2, 1. Chest press lunge.
So this is the exact visual I want you to think of. So I've got a little ball here. I take my elbows, right? So if I'm hugging the ball, I'm not thinking my hands are coming together. I'm thinking I want to press my elbows together, okay? All the while, shoulders are down and back.
That's halfway.
Right? So I'm not rounding forward, arching my back here. Let's stay tall. Drive those elbows, okay? Pop that beach ball. Good, tight squeeze through it. Again, focus on your best
3,
belly bra strap.
2, 1. Transition to hammer curl good mornings.
Hammer curl good mornings. Again, thumbs up for this one. Whatever you can do for that. But we want a horizontal movement of the hips here.
3,
Butt goes
2,
back.
1. Hammer curl good mornings.
So this is one where we think if we got $100 on the wall, right, and you're 10 inches away from the wall, I want you to reach back with your butt, grab that $100 and stand up, okay? Tight squeeze. Butt cheeks should be really tight. Shoulders, again, should be down and
That's
back.
halfway.
As always, we're trying to create space between the shoulders and the ears. Shoulders are not accessories. We don't wear them as earrings. Keep them down. Down, back, down, back. Okay, again, core
3,
tight. It's so difficult through some of these
1.
movements to maintain
Transition
the
to step up overhead press.
core. Step up overhead press again. Before you get started, pinch the penny, brace the spine,
3,
a little belly whack,
2,
pull
1.
those shoulders up.
Step up overhead press.
As the arms go up, again, we're not leading with the shoulders to come up. We want to actually drive those shoulders down as we push, okay? Do your best. Again, move slow if you need to move slow. Just get used to how we perform these movements.
That's halfway.
And most of the time it's enough just to think about the butt, the belly, and the bra strap. It's, hard to add movement to them, right? So we just move progressively through each one. I want you to do your absolute best, okay? Your best. Your best is good enough.
3,
We can begin
2,
that process of
1.
change.
Transition to tricep press down step back lunge. 3,
Here we go.
2, 1. Tricep press down step back lunge.
Anytime in that lunge position, we want to think again, ride the elevator, okay? So I would go straight down and then come up. Again, tall in my position, right? We want to think that strain is pulling your head up to the ceiling, keeping your spine in alignment.
That's
Elevator,
halfway.
not escalator, leaning forward. Okay, straight down. Then drive up. Okay. Tight elbows, lock them out. That's going to be the triceps. Good.
3,
And do
2,
your best.
1. Transition to hamstring curl pull aparts.
All right, last one of round 2. Already almost halfway. Okay, with pull aparts
3,
or external
2,
rotation.
1. Hamstring curl pull aparts.
Our first part of the movement is pinching those shoulder blades down and back. So that's why we say bra strap, right? We think the bra strap typically for a woman is down all the way in the center of the back, right? So we want to take the shoulder blades down and back. Not just pinch them, but also take this out of the ears.
That's halfway.
Both. Do both. Both down, back, down, back, down, back. Okay, again, choose what's best for you, right? Drive those heels. Good. All the way through.
3,
Do your best.
2, 1. Long rest.
Awesome. Very good. All right. Halfway through, we've got 2 more rounds to get all finished out. So remember, just do your best. Think about what you need and then begin to apply it.
Three, 2, 1. Get ready for row squats.
All right, here we go. Round 3. Really connect your brain to what you're doing. Think through. How
3,
are we creating our
2,
movements?
1. Row squats.
And make sure we compress that core, stay nice and tall. As we create any sort of pulling motion, we want those shoulders to stay back. I don't want my shoulders to be forward and rounded, okay? If I do that, and the
That's
shoulders here,
halfway.
I'm doing it wrong. I want to pull that down and back with the shoulders. So again, your back, the whole thing from sacrum to neck, flat against the wall. As hard as you can, every part, squeeze tight, right? Push those feet in the floor. Penny
3,
between the cheeks.
2, 1. Transition to chest
Good.
press lunge.
Okay, rotate around, chest press lunge. Build on bands, right? We can be attached to the wall, that helps too.
3, 2,
Okay.
1. Chest press lunge.
And I want those shoulders to stay over the hips as you lunge. If you need to stay in one position, stay 1 foot forward as you go, and then switch halfway through. As always, pop that beach ball. Pop the beach ball. Tight squeeze. Firm. Doing your best. Okay, all
That's
the way
halfway.
through. Awesome. Okay, again, penny between the cheeks. Stomach like someone's about to punch you. Tight. Hold that firm. Shoulders down and back. Pressing through. Very,
3,
very good.
2, 1. Transition to hammer curl. Good mornings.
Good morning hammer curls. Okay, so again, horizontal movement of the butt. You're reaching back for that $100 on the wall.
3,
Grab it with your butt
2,
cheeks and stand
1.
up.
Hammer curl. Good mornings.
Here we go. Good. Tall, tight, tall, tight. Push the hips backwards. You guys are full of jokes today.
That's halfway.
Yeah. It's the thought that counts. Here we go. Good tight squeezes up tall. Right, your posterior chain, backside. All tight, shoulders down and back, butt cheeks. Right?
3,
Squeeze through those
2,
legs.
1. Transition to step up overhead press.
Okay, step up overhead press. Very good work. Good job sticking along. Pushing through it, right? Doing your best. Figure out
3,
those areas where you
2,
need that challenge.
1. Step up overhead press.
Awesome. Good presses. Again, you can use steps. If you have any stairs at home, you're able to go up and down off of those. That's fine. Right? Otherwise, just a single leg balance works wonderful. Good tight squeeze through your butt cheeks.
That's halfway.
So whatever foot you're standing on, that butt should be tight, right? We're not just passively hanging out there. Actively. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Core is tight, bracing and stabilizing. Okay, that's where balance comes from. It's being firm like a statue. If we're losing our muscular capacity,
2,
that's when we start
1.
wobbling and
Transition
falling all
to
over.
tricep press down step back lunge.
Here we go. Tricep press downs, lock the elbows. Step back lunges. Stay tall and tight.
3,
Shoulders
2,
over the hips.
1. Tricep press
Okay.
down step back lunge.
Shoulders over those hips. Drive up. Because when we keep our body straight up, that's going to keep more of the weight even on both legs. A lot of times what we do is we end up lunging forward and leaning all of our weight on our front leg. Right? So now we've got 90% of the weight
That's halfway.
on one foot, rather than 50% of the weight on each foot, and then we drive through a little bit easier, more efficient in our movement. Strong, strong squeeze through those elbows, driving back those shoulders.
3, 2, 1. Transition to hamstring curl
Good.
pull aparts.
Okay, last one of round 3. Almost there. Here we go. Remember, strong pull through those heels. You're
3,
trying to bend those
2,
knees
1.
really hard.
Hamstring curl pull aparts.
Okay, so Jenny here, right beside me, she's using a foam roller on her chair. I want you to think you explode that foam roller, okay? Or if we're in a chair, like a recliner, you pop that heel down, right? Pop that footstool. Bend those knees. Pull hard towards the butt. Squeeze. Tight, tight, tight.
That's halfway.
Awesome. Very good work. All the way through, ladies. All the way through.
3,
Awesome.
2, 1. Long rest.
All right. Long rest. This is our last one. We have one more round. I want you to, again, take this opportunity to either, get a drink of water, but mostly think through what you want the next round to look like. Okay, am I doing more repetitions? Am I trying to pull more resistance? Or am I just simply trying to continue to connect my brain to the movement and make sure that neurologically I'm connecting to each part of the movement? Butt, belly, and my breaststroke.
Three, 2, 1. Get ready for row squats.
Okay, here we go. Last round. Give me your best.
3,
Good squeezes.
2, 1. Row squats.
And squeeze tight. If you're leaning against the wall, you're pressing your feet into the floor like you're driving yourself up the wall. Okay? Again, the penny between the butt cheeks, we're trying to crush it flat with as much force as possible. That's where we're going to see hip strengthening come into play.
That's halfway.
Shoulder blades out of the ears, pulled down. So I say, like for a bra strap, you want to use your shoulder blades to unclip that bra strap. Pull hard, pull hard. I'm doing all the work, Lois. See?
3,
I hear everything.
2, 1. Transition to chest press lunge.
Good, here we go. Rotating around, chest press. Drive the elbows to the center of your chest.
3, 2, 1. Chest press lunge.
Okay, there's, to me, really fun anatomical things that relate or coordinate to how we move, right? So our pec actually connects to the humerus, the upper bone of our arm, not to the forearm, right? So if we bend our elbows and we're kind of driving the hands together, we're actually losing part of what the pec is designed to do. Okay, so we want to change that to drive the elbows more than the hands, okay? I'm squeezing my chest with the inside of my arm. Drive the inside of the arms together. Squeeze tight. Shoulders
3,
again out of those
2,
ears. Do your
1.
best.
Transition to hammer curl good mornings.
Good. Hey, hammer curl good mornings. Horizontal movement of the hips.
3,
Get your butt to the wall
2,
behind you.
1. Hammer curl good mornings.
Come up nice and tall. Shoulders should stay down and back. That's one thing I see a lot with good mornings. Is as we go down, all of a sudden it's like the shoulders and the head begin to droop. We've got this big arch in our back. Okay? Flatten that out.
That's halfway.
Head drawn back and chin kind of tucked in. Reach your butt behind you. Stand up tall. Good. Tight squeezes all the way through. Good.
3, 2, 1. Transition to step up overhead press.
Awesome. We're almost there. Almost there. Step up overhead press.
3, 2, 1. Step up overhead press.
Remember, stay really tall, right? And we're tall because that string is pulling us up to the ceiling through that movement. Again, we're not hiking our hips up, right? As we step. The whole point is that the core stays so compressed.
That's halfway.
We're like a statue, right? Tight compression. If you notice you struggle with that compression, that's what Mondays and Thursdays are for. Learn how to squeeze and compress our spine, holding that nice
3,
position.
2, 1. Transition to tricep press down step back lunge.
Awesome. Tricep press down, step back lunge. Again, as you straighten those elbows, right? Keep the shoulders down and back. A lot of times I see when those elbows go straight, shoulders
3,
try to come forward.
2, 1.
Fight against that.
Tricep press down step back lunge.
We kind of do that all day long, end up with those shoulders rolled and hunched forward. So the only way to get out of that is to start pulling harder with the backside. And of course, that's going to be tight or difficult to do because it's like a circus tent where one rope is pulled really tight. You can't just mash this back into place and think it's going to stay.
That's halfway.
Right? It's going to either pull the stake out of the ground on the opposite side, or you're going to end up with a stretched rope that goes too quick. So the same way with our muscle tissue, you can't just expect that tight muscle is going to loosen up. And right here, it's usually the pecs, right? The chest is going to be tight because we stay in this forward
3,
position.
2, 1. Transition to hamstring curl pull aparts.
Okay, last one of the day. I want your best all the way through. Sit tall, ladies. Pull those heels hard.
3, 2,
Are
1.
we breaking a foam roller
Hamstring
today?
curl pull aparts.
Yeah, Lois, I like it. Go for it. Go for it. Break that foam roller. Pull hard. Pull hard. Drive those heels. Drive those heels. Bend those knees. Again, with external rotation of the shoulders or pull aparts. Right? Shoulders first. Get them down, back, down, back, down, back. Core should be tight.
That's halfway.
Right? Think about your position. Connect your brain to the movement. We don't want sloppy movement. We want good, controlled, quality movement. Tight squeeze. I want you to finish all the way through. Do your best all the way through.
3, 2,
Good.
1. Way to be rock stars.
Awesome. All right, that does it for our total body day. So we appreciate you guys being here again. If you have not yet, please do subscribe just down below. Turn on those notifications Monday through Friday. We're live at 9, and you can ask questions during that live time through the exercises. Hey, this is working, this is not working, something hurts. Let me know. I'll try to help you out the best that I possibly can and ensure that you get what you need. Again, there's no sales pitch here. This is simply to help you move well and live well. Okay, we are going to jump back into the self-myofascial release because that's the area where we begin to loosen that tight rope on the circus tent. Okay, so if we can loosen that up, our structure gets into a better alignment and we start to strengthen the opposing or weak muscle. That's why we do both, right? Your muscles do two things. They contract and they relax, or they should, right? So if it can't do one or the other, that's dysfunction, right? The muscle cannot function at 100%. So let's continue to work on that and continue to create change. This is something that happens when we are consistent over a long period of time. You'll start seeing how your body movement all day long changes when we are able to focus on those posture and positional areas, okay? I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic weekend. We'll be back with you on Monday for the core day. Have a fantastic weekend.
The head, neck, and shoulders are intricately connected by several different muscles. The most superficial muscles being the upper trap, middle trap, and levator scapula. The brain communicates with these muscles through the 11th cranial nerve and the nerves at C3 and C4. These muscles contract the shoulder towards the neck, which causes pressure on the upper part of the vertebrae, creating tension and pain. The muscles that are much deeper are the transversospinalis and splenius capitis. The nerves that innervate these muscles are found from the C1 through the C6. These muscles connect the head and neck, which means looking down, like reading, computer work, or especially phone or tablet work, can cause problems. Start in a side-lying position with a foam roller between the neck and shoulder. Use your top leg to press into the floor, rolling your body up, which will create pressure downward through that shoulder. You're trying to create as much movement between the ear and shoulder as possible while relaxing the head toward the floor. You may increase the intensity of work by rolling the foam roller up and down using your hand. To work different points of the neck, simply roll backwards, keeping the chin and chest directly in line while opening the shoulders to the ceiling. An additional way to create greater intensity is by creating a saw-like motion, pulling the end of the foam roller toward your neck and then relaxing. You need to allow yourself to relax during the saw-like motion to break down the muscle tissue in the upper trap and neck. Continue to change the position, working the areas that are most tender. If you are tensing your body, it is not helping. My recommendation is to continue this work anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes on each side before moving on. A common headache that comes through my door is when someone comes in and paints across the forehead the pain that they feel. Commonly, it's also associated to have eye pain with this sort of headache. The muscles typically causing this headache are actually on the back side of the head, and they are called the occipital muscles. When the occipitals get extremely tight, they pull on the back of the head over the top of the head, creating the tension and pressure you feel in the forehead. So let's take a look at how to release these muscles to get rid of your headache. Using 2 lacrosse balls directly on the back of the head and lying on the ground, use a book to elevate the lacrosse balls. You're going to press down into the lacrosse balls and move them around the back of your head until you find the part that is most tender. At this point, you're going to begin pressing your head down into the lacrosse ball as hard as you can tolerate. This pressure should recreate the headache that you commonly feel across your forehead. Continue this pressure for 30 seconds. I will continue to talk you through the 30 seconds here. Do not let up on your pressure. Continue to push as hard as you possibly can in the occipital muscles in the back of your head. Try even increasing the tension and feel the headache. You know you're doing it correctly if you continue to feel the headache the whole time you're on these muscles. And we finish in 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. Now we're done with the occipital release. Next, we're going to be working on the atlantoaxial junction and the rest of the cervicals. The first muscles for us to focus on are at the atlantoaxial junction, and they are called the obliquus capitis major, obliquus capitis superior and inferior, and the rectus capitis posterior minor. Once we have worked through those, we will work on the rotatories and the semispinalis cervicis. Laying on your back with a book under your head and neck, place the lacrosse balls directly in line with the junction of the head and neck. Once you have the lacrosse balls in that position, tilt the head up and down like you're nodding your head yes. This should cause a contraction of the muscle tissue on top of the lacrosse ball and then a stretch as you look down. Once you've completed the work on that junction, move down a half an inch to the next cervical and continue this process until you have worked your way down the entire neck. Be sure to get a tight contraction tucking the chin, followed by a strong contraction tilting the head back in order for this technique to work. If you get to a point where it feels like one side is worse than the other, you may rotate your head to that side and continue to nod yes. For example, if I had some extra tension on the left side of my neck, I would rotate my head to the left and continue to contract up and down. Remember to do this continuously through the entire neck, rotating to the left or right as needed. Our final release is going to be on the upper and middle trap and levator scapula. These muscles contract the shoulder to the head. This release requires a massage stick and a clear wall. We want to start by locating the trap and levator, which holds the shoulder up to the ear. Once located, lean against the wall, allowing the stick to press down into the shoulder. Once you've created that pressure, you can start turning your head down and away from that trap. You'll notice I continue to hold the massage stick with my right hand and let the massage stick push my left shoulder down. Continue to create this pressure until your shoulder feels relaxed.